Random House Audio presents The Daring Ladies of Lowell by Kate Alcott. Read for you by Cassandra Campbell. Chapter 1. Lowell, Massachusetts, March 1832. Alice stepped gingerly into the darkened dormitory, holding her breath against the unexpected. An oil lamp flickered, turned so low she could see no more than a line of cots squeezed together in a long, narrow room. The air was close, aromatic with the scent of warm bodies. "Who are you?" demanded a sleepy voice. "Alice Barrow. I'm from New Hampshire, here to work." It didn't seem enough, but she was worn to the bone from her long coach ride to this gritty, bustling mill town that promised so much. "Lordy, another one." This was a second voice, bouncy and light, with a hint of mischief. "Move over, girls. Here we go again." "They shouldn't be waking us. She's got to take the far bed. I'm not giving up this one," declared the first voice, now on the edge of indignation. "Calm down, Mary-O. There's one empty." Alice began climbing over the still, shadowy figures, unnerved by their smothered giggles and deliberate pokes from unseen feet. She counted. She had to crawl over 5 almost invisible people before she got to the last bed in this small dormitory. "What's your name?" she said into the dim light, in the direction of the most friendly voice. "I'm Lovey. Welcome to Boot Boarding House, number 52, your new home. You're in dormitory A. 6 of us now. They'd better not try squeezing in another bed." Then, more gently, "You've come a long way to get here this late. Hope they fed you." "Parsnips and potatoes." Alice's stomach lurched slightly. She untied her green cloak and folded it carefully at the end of the bed. Her bandbox, more books in it than clothes. "Not feeling too good, I'll bet. The potatoes were turning black at breakfast." Lovey broke into giggles. "Don't listen to her," piped up a calm new voice. "She's a bit of a wag, sports with every new girl that comes along. There's nothing wrong with the potatoes. Lovey just likes to make trouble. Anyway, nice to meet you. I'm Tilda. Hope you don't snore." Alice felt for the blanket covering her bed. It seemed warm enough. Her eyes were adjusting. The girl named Lovey was 2 cots down, sitting up now, her thin shoulders sheathed in what appeared to be a white muslin gown. The figure between them lay huddled under a gray coverlet, ignoring them as she whispered to herself. "That's Jane," Lovey said casually. "Congregationalist, you know. Always praying. For people like me, mostly. Maybe you do too, unless you're one of those revivalists who weep and sing all the time. Why are you here?" Alice replied with carefully rehearsed firmness. "To earn enough money to help my father with his bills and save so I never have to work on a farm again. At $3 a week, I can do it." She must keep repeating that to herself. It was all that had kept her steady when she left home. "Get to spend any for fun?" "A little. Enough." "There's no such thing as enough. Not with the starvation wages here," Lovey muttered. "Nobody's starving," said the one named Tilda, audibly smothering a yawn. "Stop grumbling, Lovey. Let the girl sleep. You can complain in the morning." Her easy tone seemed effective, for Lovey said no more. Alice pulled back the covers, easing herself into bed. There was no use hunting for her nightdress. The girl named Mary-O would just complain again. And no use saying more to the one named Lovey, either. It didn't matter. She shivered, but not from cold. The most important day of her life was almost over, and she wanted now only to rest. She had done it. She had made the leap. No more cleaning up cow dung, no more twisting the necks of squawking chickens. She was a factory girl now. She'd soon be working the looms and making money. Tomorrow it would begin. Alice closed her eyes, dropping her head onto a thin pillow. No one was talking. She could drift and let go. A sound intruded, a slight hiccuping sob, a sound so lonely that it pulled at her heart. "Who's that?" she asked in a whisper to Lovey. "That's Ellie, our bobbin girl. A hard worker, better than most." "How old is she?" 9 or 10. "Why is she crying?" "Her legs. A bobbin girl does a lot of running. We take turns rubbing them for her." "Can't anyone comfort her now?" "She wants Delia, her sister. But Delia's on kitchen duty until midnight this week." An unease floated over Alice, so ephemeral she could give it no shape or words, nor push it away. The bobbin girl's weary cry followed her into her dreams, and somewhere, somehow, it ceased. Only then did she join the others, still invisible, in deep sleep. The piercing shriek of the factory whistle at 4:30 a.m. was the loudest sound she had ever heard. It made her teeth ache. She lifted her head from the pillow, blinking at the sight of girls flinging themselves out of bed, pulling off night dresses, putting on blue work shifts, and heading for the door. No washing up? She saw a basin and pitcher behind the door, but no one approached it. "You're late already. Hurry up." The light-hearted voice of the night before was husky in the morning chill. She looked into Lovey's face, which didn't quite match what she had imagined in the dark. It was all motion, thin and lively, not exactly pretty, but with a mouth that smiled easily and eyes that flicked restlessly about. She looked capable of switching moods with great speed. Right now, her eyes showed impatience. "Breakfast, rotten or not, in 5 minutes," Lovey said, clapping her hands together. "I can see I'm going to have to push you along." With a twinge of annoyance, Alice pulled on the smock she had been issued last night and ran her fingers through her long chocolate-brown hair. "Nobody has to push me along. I'm ready," she said. Lovey shook her head. "Pull your hair up. Twist it tight. Here's a knitting needle to hold it." She grabbed a needle from a bag filled with yarn and held out her hand. "I don't like braiding my hair up." Really, who was this person ordering her around? Lovey's eyes darkened. "Just do it!" Alice jammed the needle through her sloppily twisted bun with more force than necessary. She wasn't going to get in an argument with anyone on her first day. The boarding-house dining room, papered in a tight golden-brown window-pane pattern, was immense and claustrophobic at the same time. On the narrow mantel, perched perilously close to the edge, sat a worn-looking chiming clock. A watercolor of a child playing with a rag doll hung slightly askew next to the swinging door that led to the kitchen. There were 5 tables covered in oilcloth, with up to 10 girls from each of the dormitories squeezed in, chattering at the top of their voices as they took turns ladling out breakfast from a tureen filled with pumpkin mush. A kitchen girl was squeezing through the crowd, handing out slabs of fried codfish. Alice looked around and saw not a single seat was empty. "There's quite a few of us at number 52, 6 to each dormitory. I don't know half of them, but we're all about the same age. How old are you?" "I turned 20 last week," Alice said. "Ah, I'm an old lady then. I'm 23. Lovey nodded toward the table. Just nudge somebody over. Only 10 minutes for breakfast.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?